Yeah, so apparently, in a room full of anti-MAGA press, there's this guy who is the vice president, who is the youngest guy in the room. His name is JD Vance, and he's apparently going off on the media because in the first 100 days, it's been nothing but chaos. It's been nothing but the mainstream media and the crazy narratives that they're trying to uphold with El Salvador, migrants, when it comes to deportations. You guys know the rest. You know the story and you know what's going on. But this guy, JD Vance, I asked you guys, how is Trump doing in the first 100 days? How is JD Vance doing in the first 100 days? Do you like what he's doing? Do you agree with what he's got going on? Because right here, right now, he's calling out and sending a very fiery message to everybody in the room. Yeah, let's take a listen. Let's go for it.
Mr. President, thank you, and thanks to the cabinet. So, at the risk of insulting everybody else at the table, I believe that I'm the youngest member sitting at the table. And, it occurred to me that from the time that I was born to the time that Donald J. Trump was inaugurated just a few months ago, we went from, again, 40 years, we went from the world's manufacturing superpower to one in which we depend on the People's Republic of China to make the things that we need. We went from the proudest military in the world to one in which we failed to meet our recruiting goals. And we went from one in which bipartisan border policy was the consensus of both Democrats and Republicans to one in which we allowed 20 million people to run roughshod illegally over the countryside, causing crime, causing a stress in the welfare system. And again, that happened over the lifetime of the youngest member of the cabinet. And what has happened in 100 days is that we've started to reverse every single one of those negative trends. And I think what it shows to me is that the president, and you sit in the Oval Office and you see these portraits of presidents past. And let's be honest, most of them have been placeholders. They've been people who've allowed their staff to sign executive orders with an auto pen instead of men of action. And the reason the media attacks this administration as chaotic is because the president is solving the problems the American people set about to solve. He's actually doing the things that he promised that he would do. And Mr. President, it's been an honor to be part of it for the past 100 days. And let me just make one other observation because it's interesting. I've seen the data, I've monitored it, I've looked at it, but the most underreported fact of the first 100 days is that we came in with a massive recruitment shortfall. And in 100 days of Secretary Hegseth and President Trump's leadership, we now have people breaking down the doors to join our military. To the media assembled here, it's a really interesting question. Why has that happened? Completely aside from the fact that I think it's a good thing, or I think that President Trump deserves political credit for it.
He's confronting the media here. He's confronting them, asking them the very specific question, because we have people that are very proud to be Americans now. They don't have to hide it. They're like, you know what? I want to join the military. I want to fight for this country, the country that's given me everything.
Why did we go from a military where people didn't want to serve to now all of a sudden they do want to serve? That's a story you guys should cover. But compared to that, how much time have you instead focused on the fact that we deported an MS-13 gang member with a valid deportation order? And why is it that the press is so focused on the fake BS rather than what's really going on in the country? I think that what we've shown, sir, is that you can do a lot. You can do a lot in 100 days, but you've also unfortunately revealed that too much of the American media hasn't learned the lessons of the past 40 years. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Holy moly, ladies and gentlemen. He just called out the media right then and there. Oh, man, this guy's really good. We've been hearing about Trump's, third term, but, everything aside, I wouldn't mind seeing this guy run. As much hatred as he gets, as much as memes. This guy is like the number one meme out there, good and bad. Like everybody on the left, has made him a meme. But it's so true. I got to say, I got to give kudos to this guy because I'm not going to lie. He's endured a lot. Like, I don't know how many other people would survive in the position of being the vice president to Donald Trump. Right? Especially, when you got Pence's history and you know that the media is constantly going to pick that apart. he's exposing and calling the media out on their fake BS. They rather report on fake BS. And we've spoken about this before. The media only wants to talk about things that separate the American people because that's where the most money is made. It's not made in unity. It's not made in good stories and good standing with the American people, with each other. No, it's made through race, religious, shootings, mass killings. Like, these people make the most money out of politicizing everything because they've noticed that, hey, ever since Trump came in, we have a figure we have never seen before, especially in our lifetimes and their lifetimes. And they have taken every opportunity to try to make as much money. Again, this is why somebody said, I forgot who it said, when Donald Trump was announced president, nobody was more happy than CNN. Nobody was more happy than MSNBC. As much as they want to take him down, they don't really want to take him down because he brings the ratings. And unfortunately, it's to the detriment of the American people. We have lost our way in our media. We have lost our way in the United States of America. We can't even talk to each other because of so many negative trends. You tell somebody, hey, I voted for Trump. They lose their minds. Your friends, your family members, since 2016, some of you, the first time around, lost everything, lost everybody. You probably have friends now. You probably have good things now, but a lot of people have lost a lot of friends. I've lost a lot of people. People that used to respect me don't respect me anymore. That's why I'm not friends with them anymore, right? You can't have an opinion because you'll get overpowered, right? It's very tribal. And again, you don't have to love everything about JD Vance. You don't have to love everything about Donald Trump. But I think what they represent is they just represent something bigger than what's really going on. They represent the media's flaws and how to cover stories properly, especially when they themselves are activists. You see it with the judges too. A lot of people are like, well, they're out there arresting judges. No, judge broke the law. But look at what happened. We got judges who are activists. We got people in the media are activists. Everybody's an activist for the left. Meanwhile, Rupert Murdoch, the man who also owns CNN, the owner of MSNBC, all these owners are making the most money out of all the controversy. Meanwhile, the people downstairs, who are not calling the shots are all scrambling and fighting each other. And I think that's a good point here. I think that's pretty much what JD Vance is getting at. I think this is a huge deal, in my opinion, to have somebody with this type of stance to expose exactly what's been going on with the media. I think that's what's been exposed here. And yeah, I don't want to ramble on too much, but I am impressed with JD Vance on that. Him being able to call out the media for exactly their BS and exactly what it is that they push. And yeah, everybody shut down. Nobody wants to write these stories about the good things, about what can bring Americans together. It's all the bad things. All right, ladies and gentlemen, make sure to smash the like button. Let me know where you guys are watching from. As always, my name is Lou Valentino. I'll see you guys on the next one.